Hey guys, Curtis Alexander. Can beetroot actually help lower blood pressure naturally? Let's talk about that. So we know that beets contain nitrates, and for a long time that's what we've thought. If there were benefits, it was because of the nitrate content. And I'm going to talk about some studies, and at the end of the video I'll kind of give you my general recommendation. But it looks like even though these beets and beetroot contain nitrates, that may not be what is causing the lowering of the blood pressure. Now let's look at some of the studies. First of all, they've looked at beetroot in actually healthy people, which is fairly common. You'll see that a lot. And what they found is that by giving beetroot juice, not the powder, okay, it was just the juice, there was a small decrease in systolic and diastolic blood pressure, those two numbers in your blood pressure. It was not big, but again, this was in otherwise healthy people, but we saw a drop of about 4 millimeters of mercury and 1 millimeter of mercury for the diastolic. So, not a huge drop, but again, healthy people. But interestingly, they compared this beetroot juice that had the nitrates in it to a beetroot juice that did not have nitrates in it. And the drops in blood pressure were approximately the same. So there didn't appear to be a difference. So again, we don't think the nitrates are what is possibly doing this. Now, what they did find is that they got best results with a couple of criteria that you will want to meet if you decide to try beetroot juice. Number one is you want to take it for at least 2 weeks. They didn't see benefit taking less than that. Or you want to take at least 500 milliliters a day of the juice, okay? Now, a couple of other pointers on this. Other studies have shown that there may be a genetic component, meaning some people are more responsive to beetroot than others. I want to point out, it was an interesting study when they found this, that some of these people were hyper responders. It was in a study that put beets actually in bread. And so I don't know how much validity to put in that, but just keep in mind some people may respond more. Again, these studies were done in healthy people, but what about people that had high blood pressure? Let's look at that. So they gave people who not only had high blood pressure, but they were also on prescription medications. They gave them beetroot juice. You'll notice right off the bat, they gave them 70 mils twice a day, okay, much less than they found in the first study. And they only did it for a week, okay? Again, much less than the first study. And this was in people that had high blood pressure. They found no drop in blood pressure in people with hypertension. They also found no change versus the beetroot juice that had nitrates taken out of it. So not a promising study, but again, the difference between these two recommendations, it would have been very interesting to have the people with high blood pressure follow the criteria above. So with that being said, another factor that came into play is how they were measuring blood pressure in these studies. For example, you can measure blood pressure at the doctor's office, and a lot of times that goes up for people because they're nervous. You can put somebody on a 24-hour monitor, and that's obviously much more accurate. Or you can have somebody measure at home morning and evening blood pressure. So all these studies were done differently. So we don't really know if how they were measuring had an effect. Personally, what I feel is that I do think beetroot juice, I don't see any evidence for beetroot powder, which is a popular supplement. Beetroot juice does appear to have some potential benefit, but again, I think the big thing here is you're going to want to hit that 2-week mark at least, or the 500 mils a day. You're also going to want to talk to your pharmacist and your doctor because there can be interactions, and you're going to want to look at what you're currently on. Also, you're going to want to go to the link in the description. I talk much more about natural therapies that can help you get away from drugs and surgery. So link in the description, make sure to go grab that free checklist. There's 11 of them that I share with you there. So I hope this video was helpful, you guys. If you've taken beetroot juice and seen benefit, please let me know in the comments. It's extremely helpful for me and anybody else that watches this video to learn from your experience. So speaking of helpful, I hope this was. I will see you in the next one. Thank you.